started. Good morning. Happy Friday. For those of you who don't know, my name is Melissa Agnes, and this is Morning Lives with Melissa Agnes. P.S. If you can think of a better name than Morning Lives, please share it with me. Please DM it to me, because I am very open to changing the name to be more descriptive. All right, so anyway, for now, these are Morning Lives with me, Melissa Agnes. So a daily space to stay grounded and in your power. So if you are doing work that matters, which you are, and you want steadiness, you want clarity, because who doesn't want clarity? You want more connection to self, connection to source or the divine or God or whatever, the universe, the quantum, whatever you want to call it, and connection to those that you are leading, then this is the place for you. This is what I show up every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for about 30 minutes to help you do however I can. So every morning, every weekday morning, I share one message that is designed to hopefully inspire you, to motivate you, and to bring you back to yourself, bring you back to truth, bring you back to what matters and what's real, not the chaos and the illusions that everybody else in the world has subscribed to and can be so overwhelming and can take us off path. And followed by that is a 10-minute grounding. So to get out of your analytical mind where fear lives and into your body so you can really find calm and peace and clarity and coherence so that you can move forth with your day in that energy, in the calm, in the peace, in the clarity, in the coherence. So a couple things. There is a lag. I say something and you hear it about 30 seconds later, whether you're on Instagram or LinkedIn. As far as I know, there's nothing I can do about that, and I apologize, so just please bear with me. If you have questions or something comes through or you experience something and you're unsure about it, feel free to share it with me. I'd love to hear about your experiences. They keep me going. They help me know that this serves. So please share whatever it is that you feel called to share with me, either in the messages, like in the DM, in the chats on Instagram and or LinkedIn, or by DMing me. I will reply, I promise. There's no wrong way to do any of this, and like meaning the drop-ins and that we do, you are not doing it wrong. So long as you're doing it, you are not doing it wrong. This is exploration. This is like going to the gym and learning a new exercise so that you can get better connected with, more deeply connected with yourself, your intuition, your coherence, your groundedness, get out of stress and survival and into clarity and creation. That takes practice, and that's why we do it. So that being said, good morning. Sorry, I was looking at your chats. Shauna, Shauna says something to play with morning groundings. Morning clarity, morning alignment. I have this person on Daryl on Facebook who keeps sending me these awesome thoughts on this, like morning vibes. He said so many things. Nothing's really like, that's the one. I don't know. But I also kind of need to hear from you. It shouldn't be maybe me who decides what we call this. It's really about your experience, right? Okay, the thing that I want to share this morning on this Friday morning is about boundaries and how we don't have to subscribe to patterns that the world has created and that everybody else has subscribed to, which can be really, really hard. So the message, or like the thing that's the quote, or the thing that I've heard other people say in realization that falls into this is, we're all just figuring it out. When you look at somebody and you're like, that person has it all figured out, that person's got like their stuff together, maybe they do, but I guarantee if you talk to them, they would be like, if they're humble, right, if they're honest, they would probably say something like, I do in some areas, but I don't in others, and I'm figuring it out as I go. So all of that to say, I'm bringing boundaries into that, like figuring out. So for example, Shauna in the comments right before we went live was sharing how all these people that she sees online and these like Gwyneth Paltrow and like all these great successful people are like, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I do this and I do that, and this is my structure. That's great as a suggestion. You get to decide for you, right? And I don't just mean in the morning. Like, so I'm a big fan of Elisa Vitti, who's author of Woman Code. Every woman, I believe, would benefit from her studies and her research on like the women's physicality and how our bodies work and how to sync with our bodies and listen to our bodies so that we are our optimal self energetically, just all like energy wise, productivity wise, etc. And I was on one of her group calls yesterday because I'm part of her thing, her container, and she was talking about, guys, if this makes you uncomfortable, just ask yourself why. She's talking about how she takes the day off on the first day of her period every month. And I don't go to the gym the first day of my period every month, but I don't take the day off. I do like get comfy and cozy. I permission myself to be comfortable and all the things. But it was just such this beautiful reminder of like, that's a boundary that she set to protect herself, to protect her energy, to love on herself, to have compassion for herself. And while not everybody can call in sick or like take the day off entirely, it's a reminder of we get to make our rules. The world, in my opinion, was vastly created broken. Our systems were created broken to begin with, through nobody's fault, right? We're all making it up and figuring it out as we go along. And we only knew what we knew back in the days when our systems were created. But we know differently now, and we know more now. And it's by really tapping into ourselves and setting boundaries for ourselves around different aspects. How do you protect your energy? How do you protect your emotions? How do you protect your space for productivity and brainstorming and creativity? How do you protect your family and, your family container? Just how do you protect yourself in all of the different areas so that, and it's not protection out of fear. It's not protection from, bad things necessarily. It's protection, it's safeguarding so that you can fuel yourself, put your oxygen mask on first, and show up most optimally. Show up as your best self as often as possible. So for example, this week I've been irrationally tired, like so deeply tired so early in the day that it hurts to think. No idea why. Maybe it's my diet, I don't know why. But I do know that my body is speaking to me. And so I decided, I was like, today, what I'm doing today, this Friday, I was like, I have so much to do. I have so much on my to-do list. I have so much to get done. And I'm taking the day off because my body needs rest. And I'm going to listen to that. And I'm going to set a boundary for myself that I get to listen to my body. I get to make up my rules so that I can nourish and nurture myself. And everything on my to-do list can wait until Monday, when I come back more energized, more revitalized, more revitalized. So some people think, oftentimes we think that setting boundaries is mean or cruel, and the opposite is true. Setting boundaries that align with what feels good optimally for your higher self, your best self, is a way of teaching people how to love you, teaching people how to respect you. And in turn, while it may feel, the people pleaser in us might feel uncomfortable with it, you'll also thank yourself, as will those who are around you. Because you're setting the example and you're permissioning them to stay true to themselves and not to allow themselves to push through their boundaries or to put themselves in situations that do not align with their best self. So for whatever that's worth, right? And if somebody can't respect your boundaries, that's a reflection of them, not on what you've set. Because the people who truly respect you and love you and respect themselves, so therefore set their own boundaries, will respect and applaud the courage that it takes us sometimes to set those boundaries and to instill them. And we have to do that for one another. There was something else that I wanted to share. kind of in this note, obviously. Yeah, any thoughts or questions as I talk about this? Are boundaries challenging for you? What area of boundaries are challenging for you? I'd love to hear. I was taught once by one of my mentors that to look at a boundary as like, kind of like a rose. So there was like one layer of boundary is, oh, that's what I was gonna say. One layer of boundary is the rose bud. So those are like the softer boundaries. Then you've got the thorn of the rose, right? Those might be a little bit more prickly. And when do we take the thorns out? We take the thorns out when people don't respect the boundaries that we've set. The thing that I was going to say is, one of my best friends from back home, he says, people are with you the way you allow them to be. People are with you the way you teach them to be. So by setting boundaries and respecting those, you are teaching those around you how you need to be respected. And remembering that just because other people do it a certain way doesn't mean that it's the way that's right for you. They're making it up for them in accordance with what feels right to them. That doesn't mean it has to be yours. We're all just making it up as we go along. The biggest part of this, the biggest importance, is the tapping into self and listening to your truths. Giving space first to actually hear your truths, which takes spaciousness, which takes stillness, which is one of the reasons why we do the morning groundings every morning, because it gives you that stillness, it gives you that spaciousness. That's when truths drop in. So giving yourself space to hear what you need. For me, listening to my body this week and being like, I'm freaking tired. I'm taking Friday off. I'm going to work again on Monday. That's it. And I'm going to feel so good. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it. Because why should I? Why would I? Why do I want to show up at half mass, at half capacity? I don't. That's not who I want to be. Right? So giving ourselves space to actually hear what's coming through, what our truths are, and then permissioning ourselves to have the courage to set those boundaries, to listen, to put in those boundaries so that we can protect our energy, protect everything that we need in order to show up and lead and be our best selves for everyone else. So important. And I am permissioning you right now for anybody who struggles with this. I will lend you some of this. Okay, so let we see. Shauna says, I never had boundaries before the last couple years. This work is so important for that. Yeah. The people pleaser in us, or the part of us that wants to feel accepted and feel loved and is scared that if we set the boundaries, that's not going to happen. It will. It will happen. It will, we will be loved. We will be respected by the people who deserve, our love back, right? Maybe that's not the best way to say that. By the people who are worth it. And those who can't respect our boundaries, I'm sorry, but that's their issue. They got to go and do the work on that. That's not about you. Okay. Britt says, I feel bad letting people down if I set a boundary, but I'm learning that it's important for my mental health. Yeah, you're going to let them down. Letting yourself down is a part of letting somebody else down. It's wild, right? How much we will do everything and deplete ourselves for everyone else, but yet we don't return that same act of grace and kindness and love to ourselves. Who set that rule? Let's break that rule. And the people who love you, you're allowed to say, hey, I'm depleted. I really need to self-resource. Or I really, really want to do this with you or for you, but right now, I just don't have the capacity. That's okay. If they don't understand that, that's theirs, right? You're not being harsh. You're not being cruel. You're not being unkind. You are being kind to yourself, and we have to do that. We have to be able to put our oxygen masks on first. Otherwise, we have nothing to give. And this work that you're doing, to show up your best self and to lead the way that you were here to lead, to make the impact that you're here to make, you have to show up as your best self. So let that, if that helps, let that serve as the, you know what? I'm gonna put myself first in this way. It is not selfish. It is not selfish. Okay. Shauna says it is work for overachievers. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a part of me. So let's go, like, I'm taking today off, right? I'm going to keep my commitments. I have a coaching client at 8:30 tonight. I'm going to keep that commitment. I'm not going to, but I'm going to self-resource all day long, and I'm going to be my best self for her. I'm not going to show up tired to that commitment and to show up for her, to hold space for her when she's doing this incredible, important work in the world. I'm not showing up at 8:30 p.m. so tired that it hurts to think. I'm going to self-resource all day long and show up as my best self for her, right? Like, I feel good about that. Okay, sure, some of my to-dos are going to wait till next week, and maybe that means that I'm going to work an extra hour a day next week. And maybe it means that I don't. Maybe it means that I push the self-imposed deadlines. That's okay. To Shauna's point, that took me so long to be okay with, to give myself grace for, and to not feel guilty, and to like constantly, like the guilt of doing that would then take away from my time of gifting myself self-resource. And that's not fair. That's robbing us. And they're like, who made the rules, right? We get to change the freaking rules because the rules were created broken. Okay. Shauna says, especially as we reach mid-century. Yeah. She also says, back to frequencies and vibrations. I think people of my generation got the vibes that there was no such thing as boundaries. That is changing, maybe universally, maybe inside me. Maybe that's the same. I think it's universal. I think we're realizing that we can't. Okay, so here's how I see it. When I say like things were created broken, I look around the world and I think how we created our systems, how we created our productivity, how we created all of the things that we've created, right, to create the world that we have. The byproduct, the results of those decisions back then when we didn't know better, humans didn't know better, the results are the world that we have today. There's a lot about the world that we have today that I don't agree with, that I think is broken, that I think doesn't serve, that I think creates more pain and suffering than not. And that's where I set my boundary. I'm like, I'm not okay with that. Okay, so how do we get to do things differently? Self-resourcing and setting those boundaries and prioritizing our mental health, our emotional health, our energetic health, our body, like our well-being, our actual physical health and well-being. That is how we can lead differently, and that is how we can, that's one of the ways, important ways that we can actually say, hey, this stuff's not working, this is what we can do differently, and it starts with me. And I am permissioning you right here, right now, to do that. I love the idea of women taking the first day of their period off. Heck yeah. You know what your body is doing on that first day? You may not be able to see it. Men may not be able to see it, but it's happening. It's true. We're living it, and we still have to show up and act the same way, like, right, as every other day with all the capacity and all the things? Why? Why? That's not fair. That's not kind. That doesn't allow us to show up as our optimal self. That doesn't put us in the best position to be the leaders that we're here to be and to make the impact. But guess what? If we don't go to the gym that day, or if we allow ourselves to take part of the day off and be in comfortable clothes and drink warm tea and read the book, how do we show up the next day? We are in it. We are ready. We are whole. So who decided that we can't do that? All right. And when you say that you have to reflect their frequency, maybe those things weren't meant to get done, is how I frame it. Yeah, maybe those things weren't meant to get done. All right, that is my message for you today. I rambled for a minute there. Okay, so let's do a drop-in. We're going to go a little bit longer. It's Friday. I'm taking the day off. If you can't stay and for half past the hour, totally cool. This recording will be available to you if you want to do the grounding at a later time that's more convenient for you. So I apologize for going a little bit over, but we're going with it today. That's what we're doing. So this way, I can still gift you the 10-minute grounding, okay? So let's do that. For those of you who are new, and 10-minute grounding will really take us to the top of the half an hour point, so we'll only go a few minutes over. I've kind of exaggerated that. Okay, so for those of you who are new, this grounding is essentially like a meditative drop-in. I lead it, I guide you. All you have to do is be still and follow what feels good in your body. We do this because we are reprogramming ourselves in this practice to be able to tap out of fear and mental clutter, unknowns, etc. Like when we're leading and we're dealing with high risk decision making and the fear and resistance of other people, that influences us, that impacts us as leaders. So the more that we can learn that all of that, that lack of clarity, that fear, that indecision, the resistance, it all exists in the brain. And we actually have 3 intelligence centers in our body. We have the brain, we have the heart intelligence center, and we have the gut intelligence center. And fear only exists in the brain. Clarity, calm, coherence, resonance, where we make our deepest impact comes from the body. And we haven't really been taught this. One of the ways that our systems were created broken. And so now we get to teach ourselves this, and we get to create the pattern within ourselves, the muscle that allows us to connect to our bodies to find answers and clarity even in unknowns. And by practicing this every single day for just 10 minutes, it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier when you need it most to tap back into this. So we do it. We do it every morning. We show up and we do it every morning. So if you are driving, please don't do this. This is not the time to do this because I need you to be safe. If you are walking in a busy, metropolitan area and there's traffic and there's people and there's things, listen in if you want to, but don't close your eyes and walk on the street. Don't be foolish. And if you are in a public space, if you're in an office building, if you're in a cafe and you're like, I could technically do this right now, but I'm going to feel silly and people are going to probably wonder what I'm doing and that's going to make me feel self-conscious. Here's what I have to say about that is when you finish this grounding and you come out of this and you lean into the rest of your day with potency and with clarity and with authenticity and connection and resonance, people are going to wonder what your secret weapon is, what your secret power is. And when they see you doing this in the morning, they're going to start wanting a piece of it. So you get to lead by example because everybody's nervous system is craving regulation all the time, and this provides that. Okay, so shaking out, I just gave a lot. I gave a lot of energy. So shaking out whatever you want to shake out. I'm going to lead the breath work. It'll just be simple, in through the nose, out through the mouth. It's called the Halo Active Breath. And I also want you to know that no matter what I say, no matter where I lead you, your body knows what you need. So trust your body. You are your highest authority. So trust your body. All right. Shutting down tabs. Shutting down notifications on your phone if you're watching this from your phone. Gifting yourself the next 10 minutes for you. Putting your oxygen mask on. Shutting down your eyes or softening your gaze, whichever feels most comfortable to you. And we're going to start the breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. This gets to be an exciting part of your day, a gift to you. And if your mind is loud this morning, simply let it know, I hear you. I will be back in 10 minutes to listen to you. But for now, I'm going to just put you right over here, wherever here is for you. And I'm going to be still and I'm going to be in my body so that I can come back and hear you with even more clarity. And with that, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you exhale out, allowing your focus to travel down with your breath to your sit bones. Feeling the couch or the chair, the cushion, the floor, wherever you're sitting or lying, feeling the structure against your body. The act of doing this is a exercise in choosing where we put our focus. So choosing to focus on the sensation of the cushion against your skin, against your body. And feeling its sturdiness. Like, if one thing is true right now, that cushion, that chair, that couch, that bed, wherever you may be, that it's not going to drop you. No matter how much you sink into it and offload all of your tension, all of your responsibilities, everything that's on your shoulders, offload it onto that seat, onto that structure, it's got you. Which means that you are safe to do so. For the next 10 minutes, give it out, give it away. Give all your tension, give all your stress, just give it away. And now on your next inhale through the nose, following that breath with your awareness all the way up from your sit bones to your heart space. And if it's supportive to you, bringing a hand to your chest to give your mind a place to follow. So by putting your hand on your chest, you're making it easier for your mind to put its focus and attention there. We're playing with consciousness here, awareness. And with every inhale, invitation to imagine that your heart is taking in that breath and opening up. Your heart has an electromagnetic field that science proves us, technology shows us, that expands well beyond, several feet beyond our bodily border. And with our awareness, we can open this up. We can extend it, which means that we are opening up this intelligence center. We are giving it access to receive information and to output frequency. So with every inhale, you're imagining this heart space opening up, your chest cavity, feeling it open, letting it feel so good as you bring in all that oxygen, all of that air. And with every exhale through your mouth, taking that air, that oxygen from your heart space and following it down into your belly. Letting that exhale really allow you to sink into your belly. And maybe it's supportive to put your other hand on your belly. So taking this breath in through the nose, opening up that chest to heart space, letting it feel so good. And then exhaling through the mouth, letting yourself sink into your belly. Whenever your mind chatters up, start speaking. It's perfectly human, it's perfectly natural. So it's just about having the awareness of, oh, look, I started thinking again. Great. Where's my breath? Where's my body? And bringing it back to that inhale through the heart. And then exhale. Sinking more and more deeply into your body. Just following that breath. And this is an exercise. This gets to be playful. This gets to feel good. This gets to be exploratory with the curiosity similar to what a child would experience when they're experiencing something fun and new. So notice what you notice. What do you notice as you breathe in through your heart space? There's no wrong. And what do you notice as you exhale more deeply into your body? There's no wrong way to do this, which means that there's no judgment needed for any of it. There's just curiosity, exploration, and isn't that interesting? And as we take our last few moments of breathing, invitation to explore what it could feel like if you allowed your breath to feel 5% even better. Maybe that means bringing gratitude into every breath. Maybe that means smiling with every breath. Maybe that means sinking more deeply and just letting it feel good as the breath travels through your body, opening up that heart space and sinking more and more deeply into the safety and the comfort of your solar plexus, of your belly, of your body. We're all making it up as we go. So how does this get to feel good and joyful and nourishing for your system? And on your next exhale, whenever that is, breathing all of the air out, pausing for a second, holding at the bottom, just for a second. And on your next inhale through the nose, bringing your focus back up to your heart, maybe putting your hand on your heart, and taking just a moment of deep gratitude. Gratitude is the highest frequency. Gratitude is the highest vibration. The more grateful we are for what is, the more the things that we're working to achieve come to us with ease and more quickly. So gratitude to yourself first and foremost, because you took this time. Most people don't take this time. You gifted yourself the gift of self-connection, the gift of stillness, the gift of feeling into and tapping into your body and its infinite wisdom. You broke the mold, and you're leading by example, and that deserves gratitude. I am grateful to you for that. Gratitude for your body, for all that it holds. It holds safety. It holds clarity. It holds infinite wisdom. It holds vitality. All of which, when you're in moments of stress and chaos and uncertainty, all of what your body holds is always a remembrance and a breath away. We can be grateful for that. We can be deeply, deeply grateful for that. And gratitude for all of the knowledge that we get to hold in knowing that nobody has all the answers. Everybody's just making it up and figuring it out as they go, which means that you get to make it up and figure it out in accordance with what feels true and good, aligned for you. You have that power. You have that permission. And we get to be grateful for that. Last few breaths, letting it feel even better. And when you're ready, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Coming back to the present moment. Coming back to the screen, coming back to me. And if you feel called, I would love to hear how that was for you. What did you notice? Where did that exploration take you? For me, I love playing. I love playing with my energy centers. I love feeling like when I start to breathe, my body opens up, my root gets activated, and that feels really good. My crown opens up. I feel so connected, and I love circulating that energy through my body and just playing with it, allowing it to feel good. Sometimes it feels like, honestly, sometimes it feels like tiny orgasms, like explosions of ecstasy popping all through my body. It feels so good. So when I say allow it to feel good, it gets to feel good. Britt says, I feel open and creative. I love that. That's how you get to go into your day now. Heck yes. All right. I feel happier in general too. Yes, because you raised your vibrations. When we get out of fear and out of chaos and out of all of the illusions that exist all around us that the world has subscribed to, and we breathe and we come back to self, we remember what's real. We remember what's true. We hear our body and what it needs. Answers drop into questions that we've been searching for answers for. And we raise our vibrations, especially when we end with that gratitude, because gratitude is the highest frequency, and we get to remember what's real and what's true and what actually matters. We feel more whole. I spoke a lot this week about wholeness. Yesterday I spoke about lack and wholeness. Oh, I love that, Britt. I love that, I love that, I love that. All right, today we talked about how everybody is making it up and figuring it out as they move forward every day. Everybody. Parents, CEOs, world leaders. I've sat at some really powerful tables and I've watched it firsthand as world leaders, as massive organizational leaders, as everybody is just figuring it out as they go. And we have this tendency in our world to think that the answers are everywhere else but within us, and that is not true. That is a lie, that is a falsity, that is a miss and disbelief. The answers are within, always, always. And it's only by granting ourselves the permission to have space, to have stillness, tapping into our breath, tapping into our bodies, raising our vibrations, as Britt just shared, that we actually find the answers, the best, most aligned answers with our highest good and our highest selves. And in order to permission ourselves to do that, we can remember that everybody's just making it up and figuring it out as they go along, which means you are allowed to do the same. And it's really, really, really important to set boundaries to allow you to do that. listening to your body. Where is your energy? Where is your emotionality? Where is your mind? Where's your physicality, right? Do you have tension? Are you feeling sore? Are you feeling fatigued? All these things. Listening to that and saying, oh, those are signals telling me whatever they're telling you. And setting that boundary to be able to self-replenish, self-nourish, and self-resource yourself so that you can show up your best to do the best work possible and make the biggest impact on the world that the world needs you to make. People are with you the way you allow them to be, and by setting boundaries, you are showing self-love and self-care. And those who don't respect them, that's their issue. That's not a you thing. That is a them thing. That's their work. That doesn't mean don't set your boundaries. That doesn't mean don't hold true to your boundaries, because that is an unkindness and a disrespect to yourself, which means that if we don't show ourselves this kindness, if we don't set the boundaries and respect our boundaries, we're teaching others that they can treat us that same way. And that's only going to deplete us. That doesn't allow us to show up and make the impact, the positive impact that we're here to make. So permissioning you, anyone who needs the permissioning, and if ever you doubt this, DM me. If ever you're like, I really need, I don't know, I'm going to just use an example. I really need this weekend to myself, and XYZ people, my team, my boss, my friends are like really asking me to do this thing, and I know I really want to show up for them, but I really need this, and I don't know how to say no, or I'm not sure if I should like put myself first. DM me. I will vouch for you every time. I will help. I will lend you that permissioning until you can permission yourself, because I know how hard it is. I know the guilt that comes with it, and the guilt is unfair. We don't need to feel the guilt for putting ourselves first. It is not selfish to put your oxygen mask on first. It is strategic. It is what we need to be able to do. The world was created broken by no fault of anyone. It was just what we knew best at the time, but we know differently now. And there's so many things that are not working, which means that we get to look at those and go, okay, what's not working for me? Everybody else is making it up as they go along. How do I get to do that for myself so that I am more in alignment with what I need, what my soul is here to do, and how to be the best version of myself to make the most positive impact on my community, on my friends, on my family, on my workplace, on the world. All right, thank you for staying 15 minutes over with me. That's a fun Friday. If you have comments, questions, DM me. Please don't be shy. And with that, I will be back on Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern for another morning live with Melissa Agnes, where I'm not necessarily here to teach you anything new. I am on a mission to help you remember what's true. All right, with that, wishing you a beautiful weekend. Keep those vibrations high. Whenever you feel like you're being knocked out of the frequency that you leave these groundings with, it is simply a breath away. Pause, put your phone down, 5 minutes, that's it. Breathe for 5 minutes, put a replay of these lives on for 5 minutes, and watch how quickly you bounce back. All right, happy Friday, Britt. Okay. Sending you all love, and I'll see you Monday morning, 9 a.m. for another morning live with Melissa Agnes, live on Instagram and LinkedIn. Okay, bye guys.